Hi, my name's William Burrell. Today we'll be talking about Unit 16, Human Immunity. These are the topics that we will be discussing. Firstly, if we look at the first line of defence, this is made up of physical and chemical barriers, and they work together to prevent entry of the disease and pathogens. This may include skin, and this is made up of three layers, which are dermis, epidermis, and subcutaneous. Mucous membrane, which is a section of the skin, and mucous membrane. And in the event of a tear, your musculature will capture and clear the harmful particles, pathogens, and toxins which are in the muscle layer, and this will help to remove them from the airway. Secondly, we have a look at the second line of defence, which is primary activation of my immune system, and this will trigger by the activation of cortical cells, which are white blood cells, and this identifies and destroys any foreign pathogens like bacteria, and this can cause the immune system to be inflamed, and this can be harmful substance or an infection. Thirdly, let's look at the third line of defence, which is known as acquired immunity, and this response is learnt by the immune system, and the best way of it is to attack different antigens and to memorize any antigens which can return. Also, acquired T can come in two forms, actively and passive. Active immunity is for the human system to active and protect us from pathogens, and passive immunity they help to protect us from pathogens gained by being rooted from someone else. Now let's look at self-tolerance, and this is referred to as the immune system because it doesn't attack its own antigens and issues which has achieved different mechanisms, and the first mechanism is the process of my anger, and this is where my mature T cell will deactivate after it has happened, and self-tolerance can be applied to achieve suspension. Lupus, this is also known as a synthetic lupus erythematosus, and this is a deliberating autoimmune disease, and this can affect various hot organs and tissues in your body, like skin, joint, kidneys, brain, and heart. And here is some signs and symptoms. Multiple sclerosis stands for MS. This is an autoimmune disease, and this can affect the body's central nervous system, which can affect the brain and the spinal cord. Here is some signs and symptoms and different MS, like clinical isolated syndrome, relapsing smitting MS, secondary progress MS, and primary progressive MS. Acquired immunity, this will help the immune system to recognize and respond to specific pathogens and antigens which we have previously encountered, and there are three main vaccines, which are neutral immunity and passive immunity. Natural immunity is when an individual is exposed to a pathogen and the immune system, and this is triggered by normal cause of infection, can be a temporary, and it will not protect you from it again. Now, if we look at a passive immunity, this is when unintelligent passes antibodies to another individual, like a newborn, like a new mother passing antibodies through her placenta towards the newborn baby or through her breast milk. Immunological memory on this is acquired properties which immune systems can store information it collects. On this can send a positive response when the stimulus are encountered again. Memory cells can be released when your immune system encounters something new, and it can remember the correct antibodies and the second instance, and this can help your immune system to produce. I'm having a number of antibodies before your symptoms are triggered by the previous foreign pathogen. Herd immunity. This is defined as protection from infection or prevention of preventable disease. This can be the result of living in a community where more of the population is vaccinated, and this will help on vaccinated people because of their age or mobility. Vaccination can protect individuals from having serious diseases, and if we look in the olden days, polio and measles was on the incline. There is also a factor which vaccinations can affect within the community, like misinformation and false information being shared on social media. Lastly, if we look at the benefits of having a vaccination, and this will protect from serious diseases and viruses, and by doing this, it will protect you and the community from contracting everything, and this can help and save the NHS care system time and money. But there is side effects that can be seen as negative, because you have to take off time off work and school, and the benefit of not having a vaccination is it can take longer to recover, and this can make you very unwell for a long period of time, or even put you in hospital. And thank you for listening.